All right, let's take a look at the Hey Mahi. Now, I've just made a video for you good folks on how to do bearings. This one's a bit more complicated. It's got a few more features involved here. And really, I think it's probably easy if you break it up into separate lines because there's a whole bunch of lines here, and I actually find them quite confusing, really. It says the diagram below represents the journey of a boat trip. Use the protractor to measure the bearings. So we do need to measure this. And I'm just looking around for a protractor. 1 second, I'm going to grab one. Don't nobody go nowhere. And I found one. Okay. So, how does this all play out? So, lots of ways of doing this, and I normally would put the protractor line. Now we have a base line on the protractor, and that's this line along the bottom here. This line right along here, not the edge here, but the black line here. That there is called the baseline. And we have the centerpiece here. That goes at the apex of the angle. In other words, where the angle bends. So let's have a look at doing that. So the first thing is lie this along the actual bearing going north. And then pull it all the way down until it reaches the apex. Right snug in there. So I'm going to try and get as good as I can. I think that looks pretty good. Let's see what I've got. So I think that's pretty good, yeah. Okay, what angle do I have here? So here is the angle I'm measuring. And here's my start point. So I'm going to go 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Looks like it's actually 60 degrees. So I'm going to call that 60. I mean, I could just move it around slightly, so it could be more like 60 or whatever. I'm not quite sure. But I think I'm going to call that 60. It looks like 60. That's pretty good. So this bearing here from here to here is 60. And because it's a bearing, I have to write 060 degrees. I have to have the arrow going this way because it's a bearing. If I had the arrow going the other way, it would be an angle. So the bearing from, in this case, B to C is 060 degrees. So here we go, is 060 degrees. All right, now we're going to do the bearing from C to D. Now, again, we need to start by saying north. So north is going to be here. I'm going to just draw this straight up, and I'm going to get this about right. Sorry, this is going to actually, there's all sorts of light distortions here, so I try and do this. All right, so C to D, I'm going to have to measure this one as well. So I've got my line going up. These lines have to be parallel, and I'm not sure I've got that right, to be honest, but here we go. Let's have a shot at doing this. So here I'm going to put the protractor here again, straight along that line there. Oh, that's pretty good. It's looking pretty good. And I can see it's meant to be, I think, 130, but I haven't got this very good. I think this line here should be slightly more this way, yeah? But I just drew it freehand pretty much. I didn't measure to see that they're going to be the same distance apart. But I'm going to call that 130. So that's 130. Now, it's already 3 digits, so I don't need to go ahead and put a 0 in front. But there is my bearing from C to D. There it is. Now, so C to D, I'm going to put 130 degrees. All right, now, D to B. Well, we've got a bit of a trick up our sleeves for doing this one. First of all, I'm going to make my my north thing. Here's north. Again, probably I'll put north up here. I should really have north here as well. Now, this time we're going to go from D to B. And again, to do that, we start here. As always, we go around till we find the line which we're actually using for the bearing. And that is this line here. So D to B, we're using this line. So we can measure the thing, but it's a bit difficult to measure this here because this is actually a reflex angle. It's more than 180. So I'm actually going to measure the little one in between here. So I'm going to do that now, see where I end up. So I'm going to try and do that here. This is not, oh, sorry, there's a lot of light distortion here. Things, okay, so I think I'll actually do it like this. I'll go along here, put that on the apex. So I'm kind of doing it backwards this time, you see. And I'm going to count, this time I have to count on the inside track because this starts at 180. I want to start at 0. So 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. From here to here is 80 degrees. So from there to there, I'm just going to write it like that. 80 degrees. Notice I have the arrow going the other way. Notice that I don't start with a leading 0 because this is not a bearing. This is just an angle. So I've got, this is going to be 360, because angles at a point add to 360. So 360 minus 80 will leave me with this bit here. So 360, let's have a look what that would be. So I've got 360 minus 80 is 280. Now, I might have got that incorrect. It might be 290. I get 280 anyway, so I'm going to write 280 in there. Equals 280 degrees. So this is the bearing, it's 280. So 280 degrees. And yeah, so again, I would be more accurate with these lines, but I think that's pretty reasonable. And so I get 280. Anyway, that's how I would have solved it, and hopefully that makes sense. Let me know in the comments if you'd like more help on that, but that's my approach to solving this.